what you put out is what you attract. So if you are putting out that confidence, I think you should wear it high, because then you'll attract confidence back. Really, the ones being intimidated will be the insecure, not confident ones, right? And they're probably just jealous of the confidence that you carry, and maybe the height that you carry. If you are another tall girly or guy or them, whoever you may be. Welcome to Casually Spiraling with me, Julie Bishop, just a tall girl in this world trying to make sense of life, dating, money, relationships, identity, culture, you know, all the things. I learned that my thoughts don't always land with the people around me, so I'm here to break it all down and talk it out, probably overshare, and maybe find some who don't think I'm totally crazy after all. Hi everyone, welcome back to Casually Spiraling. We are back with another episode, and oh my god, I'm like barely running on fumes this week. I'm pre-recording this episode for next week because as you're listening to this, I will be on vacation. So I'm getting ready for my vacation this week. Today's Monday, I leave Friday. You'll be hearing this on Thursday, and I'll still be on my week-long vacation that I'm so excited about. But up until then, I have so much to do and get done, and I just don't know how I'm going to get everything done before my 6 a.m. flight on Friday. I am barely hanging on, but it's going to be worth it, and I'll get relaxed and sleep next week. I just have so much to do every single day before then, all while working every single day and getting this podcast ready for you guys, and class and auditions and, you know, all the things I tell you about all the time. So yeah, I'm just barely hanging on right now, but we're almost there. And it's going to be August, which is crazy. I can't believe it's almost August. That's actually insane. Like, how? It's so crazy. It was just seems like yesterday when I was making the summer episode of How Didn't Let Summer Pass You By, and I was literally saying, before you know it, we're going to blink, it's going to be gone, and it's not gone, of course, yet, but it's already August, which is absolutely crazy. But I'm going to the Outer Banks with my family. We go every year, Outer Banks, North Carolina, and it's funny because a lot of people now just think of the show Outer Banks, and I was like telling my coworker where I was going, and she was like, oh, are you going to like be doing going fishing? I was like, fishing? What do you mean fishing? She was like, yeah, you're going to the Outer Banks, right? Like, you're going to be fishing. I was like, no, I'm not going to be fishing. Where did you get fishing from? And she's like the show, like, that's what there is to do there, right? I was like, oh, no. No. They filmed that show in Charleston, South Carolina, not in the Outer Banks, not even in North Carolina. And it's not an accurate representation, okay? John B. is not, the show is not accurate. I used to work on that show a little bit because when I worked in extras casting. And yeah, people from North Carolina like was a little salty because it was like, this is not what it's like at all. And one time in the show, they like take a ferry from somewhere to like Raleigh, and the math just doesn't match geographically how it actually is. So no, the Outer Banks is a peninsula off the coast of North Carolina, and it's just so gorgeous, relaxing. I'll be doing lots of laying on the beach, lots of paddleboarding, lots of sleep, lots of food, lots of reading, lots of beach volleyball, watching movies, playing games. Very wholesome vacation. But yeah, it's very, very nice and relaxing, and I love the Outer Banks so much. So I'm so excited. But until then, we're pushing through until we get there. So close, trying to push through. But I think, you know what's crazy? We definitely need to be saying things out loud, because I think I told you last week how Anand and I were saying out loud, oh, we wish our friend Summer would come visit in LA, or we need to all get together, this or that, or her to move to LA. And then the next day she texted us and was like, I'm going to be in town this weekend. And we were like, wow, we really said that out loud. And then it happened. Well, Emily, who's been on the pod a few times, we love Emily, we've been, as we talked about in her episode, she's going through her changes and job changes, and she's pursuing the influencing and content creation space and TikTok and all this. And I'm obviously pursuing, oh my God, I can't talk, this podcast and the social media for it and getting it out there and trying to reach more people. And we've been speaking into existence that we are making this our full-time jobs, and we are making this happen. And then just a few days later, we get invited to an influencer event for Collab and SoFit Beauty. It's a Korean skincare marketplace that they did. It was called the Soul Edit in Beverly Center in Beverly Hills. And we both got invited as influencers. So we were like, wow, we need to say things out loud, because we keep saying things out loud and then they keep happening. I don't know, everyone in LA is so woo-woo and this or that, but hey, it's working out. So I'm just going to say out loud right here, I want a thick booty, and I want money, and I want laughter and love and all the things. Of course, a fat ass, I want money and a fat ass, that, I feel like that's a sound or something. I heard that somewhere, but hey, I wouldn't hate it. So yeah, I think we just need to start saying some things out loud. But we had the best time ever. Had such a good time. Got so many fun products that are just amazing. Many compliments recently from people saying my skin is glowing. So I don't know if it's the new products I'm using, but it was just so fun. Such a fun event to be at. Discovered many brands, new brands, all together in one place. They each had their own booths. We got to ask questions, test out products. There was games, there was food, snacks, matcha. There was color analysis. There was photo sections. There was a wish wall. A lot of really cool things, and we were very grateful to be invited. So I posted about it on the social media if you want to check it out, but hopefully more to come. I want to get people interested in Casually Spiraling and the podcast and what I'm here doing and trying to represent, like, the realness that we all are going to and figuring shit out as we go along in life. So really trying to spread the word and get out there with the podcast. So that was one step, and we're making progress and we're moving forward. So, and it's all thanks to you who are listening and following along and engaging and being dedicated listeners. So I appreciate you so much. But yeah, let's get into today. Today, what sparked the idea was something that a friend said to me recently, and it stuck in my mind and it took me a little off guard. I was like, oh, so I don't know. I just thought we'd chat about that a little bit today. So I was with my friends, and we were chatting, and before we were at a rooftop bar. So when we were going into the elevator to go up to the rooftop, we got in the elevator, us two, and then these two guys got in and some other people. And I noticed the one guy because he had tattoos and stuff, and I loved that. And we made like initial eye contact, and then we went up to our reservation, and then we got talking, and my friend was saying, like, she pointed out that he was like looking at me when it was in the elevator and kept looking at me later on in the night. And she noticed, and she said, I noticed that you walk around with a lot of confidence, and you are a tall woman. I'm 5'11", and that's like a presence in itself, right? And then she questioned that with, do you think that intimidates men and plays a role into you not getting approached or them not approaching? And I was like, I just thought so she was visiting from out of town, and I just thought it was funny that like that was something instantly that she noticed and she took notice of. Like, she saw guys looking at me and how I carry myself, and then them not say anything or do anything about it. And she noticed the confidence I walk around with, and I wear heels when I go out, and I am tall, and I carry myself like nice and polished, and I had a clean look, clean girl aesthetic on that night. So it's just funny that she noticed this and thought, does that intimidate men? Because I was like, that's interesting you say, because yes, I've thought about this before, and I've always thought about this, but no one's ever like noticed or said that to me or noticed that about me, or saw it in person. But I was like, yes, I definitely do think my height and how I carry myself and walk around confidently can intimidate people. And, I do find I feel like men usually think that women are the ones with the height issues of men. Like they always want guys who are like above 6 foot and whatever. But at least in my instance, as being a tall girly, I find it a lot men having the issue with my height and me being tall. And they are the ones that feel insecure around it, where I now love my height and I walk in it confidently and not afraid to wear heels. And I think it makes me a little different and stands out and makes me feel good. So I come into the instance a lot of it being the opposite. I do think it intimidates some people and it gives off a different vibe. But the matter of fact is that I need someone to be confident with me. And in the fact that I am tall and I take up space vertically and I want to wear heels. So if you are already just initially intimidated by that and don't see the confidence, well, you probably see the confidence, but don't see and find confidence and that factor attractive or intriguing, then you ain't for me. But it's funny that she brought it up because recently a lot of people have been bringing up to me my posture and have made comments. This wasn't the first. So it's just, I don't know what's going on recently or what's in the air recently. I heard Mercury's out of retrograde. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. But someone recently complimented my postures. Like, I see you walking around and you have such good posture. I was like, what? Really, me? And then she said that. And then just the other day, someone said, does anyone tell you you carry yourself like Carolyn, what's her name? The Love Story, Carolyn Bessette. I'm blanking on her name, but you know what I mean. John F. Kennedy Jr.'s wife, and they just did that show, The Love Story, and people are taking inspo from her fashion and her attitude and things like that. Anyway, someone said I carry myself like that apparently. And I was like, people keep noticing these things, or recently it's come up. And I'm like, am I carrying myself a little bit differently recently than before? I'm not sure. And maybe it just has become naturally as I felt more confident in myself more recently. So maybe I am carrying that and showing that. And honestly, if then someone is hesitant to approach me because of that, they're not someone I would want to anyway, but it was just a noticing comment, or an intriguing comment for someone to notice about me. So this episode is for the confident girlies, the confident people. It is for the tall girlies as well. Because then she did go on to say, we know you and love you as a person. We know you. We know you're funny, goofy, silly, fun, and all these things. But because you're tall and you walk with confidence and just as is when you command a room, that might not come across initially. And does the height play into a factor of the height is an intimidating thing and you're confident, and then so people wouldn't necessarily see, they don't know me yet, so they don't know that fun, goofy, silly side. They just see this tall woman commanding presence. So it may come across as that's not there before people get to know me. So it was just an interesting combo that came up, and thought it left me thinking, and I don't know, it's just something that stuck out. It was interesting observation. I mean, obviously anyone who doesn't find my confidence attractive, doesn't find my height attractive, then they're not the one for me anyway. But it did make me think okay, maybe I do need to be a little bit more of aware, because those are great ways to hold myself, but also people won't see the kind, sweet, not intimidating, very silly, very kind side to me. So do I need to be more aware? I need to stop trying to say words. I don't know right now. Do I need to be more aware of maybe showing that a little more if I want? So it left me thinking to some things. And the first was, is confidence actually intimidating? Or is that just something that, we tell confident people to avoid the rejection and be it's your confidence or whatever. And it's probably some truth in both, right? Some people genuinely are intimidated by confidence. And honestly I just shook the camera. And honestly, that's kind of lame if you're intimidated by confidence, because that's like maybe they're looking for someone that is like they want to be superior to and not someone as independent or whatever. And like that's just not going to be my person, right? Like I'm going to be very independent and confident in who I am. But then, so yeah, that definitely is intimidating some people and they don't know how to handle that. So they wouldn't know how to handle me. But also it is like convenient to put this problem on the woman who is just being confident instead of just accepting. I don't think if you are carrying yourself confident and if you're tall, especially, like you need to, no one should put that, it shouldn't be put on you like that. This is the problem. Sometimes there's just no genuine chemistry or someone's not interested, but there are times, I think it's a little bit of both where, people may be intimidated and that's their issue really. Because confidence can be and will be magnetic to the right person. And it'll be off-putting to the person that's not right for you and just wants that to feel superior and feel big because they're probably actually insecure. Which tells you a lot about compatibility from the jump or before anything even starts. So honestly, it can weed out some of the people you don't want to be talking to anyway, if you are a confident girly or a tall girly or whatever it may be. Because then the question you have to actually ask yourself is, do you actually want someone who is intimidated by you and feeling good about yourself? Probably not. So also, probably not the person you want to be attracting anyway. But at the same time, I think it was something to think about and for me to be aware of maybe my resting bitch face, possibly. Like take more notice of that a little bit just to show my personality a little bit more because, I do have this presence that is tall and takes up space in a room. So maybe it could be beneficial to just throw in, if I can in some way, like something in my face or the eye contact, like a little more not resting bitch face. Because then those three things combined can maybe come across as less approachable. But again, at the same time, the right person will love it. So then on top of this, it got me thinking, like, does the height part play into it? And is it fair that it does? And yeah, probably the height does play into it. And there is still this culturally weird kind of thing that, it's definitely seen a man should be taller than the woman he's with. And me being 5'11" immediately challenges that. For a lot of people and a lot of guys. And honestly, that's not my problem. I'm not going to shrink myself. I'm not going to shrug my shoulders and seem smaller and not wear heels and change myself. And you shouldn't want to, and I don't want to. So it's really not my problem, but it is a thing acknowledging. It's worth acknowledging that it is a real thing that exists, even if it is completely ridiculous. But that is like the norm to a lot of people. So it may just be a ridiculous factor that would weed me out for other people if they feel insecure being a little bit shorter or my height. And then, yeah, it weeds out the weirdos anyway. The ones that, I don't know about weirdo, but that wouldn't feel confident with me anyway. And I wouldn't want that or anyone to try and make me feel lesser than. So don't let anyone diminish your confidence. They're probably insecure if they do. But yeah, it is just this weird thing in culture that's talked about a lot, and this height thing, and men should be taller than women, and this or that. But then, the second part of what she pointed out, obviously, is like, when you get to know me, you know my warm, funny, goofy side. But a stranger just sees the exterior first. Like, that is just facts, right? That is just facts. Like, the people who love me and know me, they know I have the confidence. And on top of that, that confidence comes with humor and goofiness and warmth. And that's a great combo. But a stranger doesn't have all that context yet, right? Context. Oh my God, I really can't talk. Context yet. They just see the exterior. So they just see the one side of it. And first impressions are like it's something to take note of. What is your first impression? How do you come across? It is a snapshot a little bit. And a confident, tall, put together woman maybe that reads as unapproachable, does it? Even if that's the opposite, if unapproachable is the opposite of me on the inside, maybe is that what that reads? Because I am tall and confident, but I'm very approachable and I'm very nice and genuine and I want to be goofy and silly and all those things and I like having fun. It's a weird position to be in, right? Because it's not like I'm doing anything wrong and it's not like you're doing anything wrong. But if you are taller or confident or this or that, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just being yourself. And yet the outside may read it a little bit differently than the inside, and the energy that you put out is usually what you attract. And I want to attract obviously the genuine, kind, funny, silly, goofy, warm. So I don't know. It's all to say, like, never want to diminish yourself. And I want to embrace these things, the confident and the tall. But I think it's also just an interesting thing to be aware of, right? And resting bitch face is real, kind of. So strut around with your confidence, maybe what I need to tell myself, but at the same time, like, show people the inside of you too, the warmth and the fun and the other side. Give them a little sneak peek, maybe a little sneak peek at first. But then it comes to this question of right and how, and like, should you smile more or make more eye contact? And why does it feel weird to have to think about those things? And like, honestly, I mean, the whole matter of fact is do what you want to do and how you're feeling. Like, it feels weird because it is a little weird. And the idea that you need to like soften yourself or signal like approachability, it's a weird thing. But sometimes like giving someone a little confidence to approach you that you won't reject them, or, you know, a little something. So they're like, okay, yeah, you notice me too. Let me come up and say hi and talk to you. A little mating call, if you may say. It's so weird. It is like that, like animals. Your little mating call, like, hey, I give you permission to approach. It's just a weird thing that you like feel like you need to think about. But at the same time, like, eye contact can do a lot, and just a little smile, it does signal openness and warmth, and like it is like a human natural signal of that, right? That may work regardless of gender and regardless of height or this or that. But I think overall it's not about performing. It's just maybe about letting people in a little bit more and show that little openness and try to stay open in your confident, tall, reassured self all in one, right? And I think there's a difference between like smiling because you want to and that's actually how you're feeling in the moment, so maybe show it, versus not wanting to smile, not feeling it, feeling like you have to, or being told to for someone else, to appease someone else. I actually like hate that. I hate sometimes when like I feel like older men used to do this a lot when I worked in like customer service, and they'd be like, why don't you smile for me? Or like what they tell you, like, you should smile more and this or that. Sometimes it's like the worst thing to tell someone, because what if I'm not feeling that way? Like, we should be able to express how we're feeling. And two, like, who are you to ask someone to, like, you think someone, especially a woman to a man, like, owes that to you? Like, I don't know, just like it can be a really weird, unsettling thing sometimes. So there's definitely a difference between like you are happy right now and like working on your resting bitch face and your approachability, and when it feels natural to you, versus like, don't shrink yourself to anything you're not and how you're not feeling and this or that. Like, and maybe like being told that is just my trauma from like working at like places like Starbucks or I don't know, different customer service places, and older men especially just seem to think that you owe them something. And I think it just triggers something in me. Like, you don't owe anything to anyone. So do what you want, obviously, and carry yourself how you want. And the right person will love that. But it's always just something to be aware of. Because I too, like, I'm so bad at always making eye contact with other people. Like, we all are looking down on the ground. We all look at phones, or we make eye contact with someone and then quickly turn away. Like, I am bad at those things, I will say. Seems like a simple thing, yet it seems like the hardest thing to do and the most uncomfortable. So there is something to it for sure. And maybe the move isn't to change anything, but just to be a little more open when you actually are interested in someone around. It's not as a default, but maybe a little bit of an intentional thing in the moment to be aware of. Because overall, is this actually a problem to solve? Or is the right person just not going to be intimidated by those factors and they're going to love it? They're going to love it and find it hot and attractive and sexy and want that. Probably that's it. I know my husband is going to love my height, love when I wear heels, love how I carry myself with confidence, and that won't make them feel any lesser or any lower any other type of way, right? That's the most freeing to talk about, to think about. And what you put out is what you attract. So if you are putting out that confidence, I think you should wear it high, because then you'll attract confidence back. Really, the ones being intimidated will be the insecure, not confident ones, right? And they're probably just jealous of the confidence that you carry, and maybe the height that you carry. If you are another tall girly or guy or them, whoever you may be, along with me. And someone who is genuinely right for you is going to be drawn to that and going to be drawn to you and not put off by it. And you don't want to attract someone by making yourself smaller. Growing up, when I was insecure about my height, I for sure used to carry around myself smaller and felt like I needed to shrink myself and crouch down and this or that. And I'm so glad I got over that, because that was not a good version. That's not a attractive whatever, not attractive, but you know what I mean. That is me making myself smaller, right? So you don't want to have to do that to please someone else. Absolutely not. The right person sees you walk into that room and thinks, yes, not, oh, she seems like a lot. No. Look, I am a lot. I take up a lot of space. I have a lot of emotions. I have a lot of good characteristics, and I have a lot of confidence. So yeah, maybe that is a lot. So the right person will be like, oh yeah. And too, I think growing up, there are many times where I've been told you're tall enough already. You really gotta be tall. We're all so shorter than you. Why you gotta wear heels? You're tall enough already. And trauma, cause what? Why are you telling me to shrink myself? Just because you're shorter than me, okay? I'm gonna walk around and be tall, and I am gonna wear heels. Why should I not wear what I want to wear just because I'm naturally taller? Literally, it's something you can't help. It's literally how I'm born in my genetics and my height. Okay. So I definitely was the one growing up. I did want to wear heels, and all the time, anytime I wear heels, it just seems there is some kind of comment you're tall enough. Why do you have to wear heels and this or that? Because I want to, bitch. Okay. Let me live. And why don't you see that as a good thing instead of a bad thing? Be like, damn, I love your height, and I love that you're confident in it. I love that you're confident in it to make yourself even taller and wear heels. Whenever I see another tally girly pop, I always say I love your height, because that's never the first reaction that I get from people. It's usually whoa, oh my God, you are tall. You're tall enough. God, what are you doing? That is the majority of the reaction, being a tall girl in this world, I stick out, and that's the reaction I get. So I try to pay it forward. And whenever I see tall girly, I say, hey, I love your height. I love a tall woman walking around and strutting with confidence. Because yeah, there are a lot of times where I walk into a room and I can see over top of everyone else. Okay. You just gotta own it. You just gotta own it. The last kind of thing that this comment made me start thinking about was, is it a double standard, right? The confidence part of it. Is confidence in a woman, does it read differently than confidence in a man? Does a confident man, is that seen as attractive and magnetic and a green flag? But does confidence in a woman get coded as intimidating, and they're aggressive and unapproachable in a way that just doesn't happen, vice versa? I don't know. It's just something to think about, right? Maybe I think sometimes that does happen. Other times it's not, but it's worth naming, and it's worth, paying attention to, because it is real. And I don't know, maybe you felt it in some form or type of way where your confidence gets taken a different way than someone else's. But yeah, it's just a frustrating part because there is no real fix here. When she said this comment, it was interesting, and it was observation. It was something to think about. But it's like, I am who I am. I'm tall, I'm confident, and that's that. So there's not much to think about. It's just maybe to be aware of, and without needing to really change anything, but just be aware of like the real answer is to be yourself and show that and wear that proud, and the right people will appreciate it and love it and see you and see it, You know what I mean? So thanks for going on this tangent with me. That one comment just really got me thinking, and I thought it was interesting. And yeah, let me know when you walk around feeling your most confident. And I think that does attract the right people and the right energy. And there is this aura and it's magnetic, but at the same time, does it give a little unapproachable? And not saying that it should or that it does. Again, it's just an observation. But I know the right people will find you and your confidence attractive and the best thing ever. And yeah, so it's just interesting being aware of the aura you give, and like me repeatedly hearing these comments over and over again. I just found it, did something change inside of me? Like, am I carrying myself different? And should I take notes of that? And is it good? Is it bad? Probably good. And if you like what you're doing, then yeah, it's a good thing. So yeah, thanks for going on this tangent with me. We're going to end it here. A little more quick episode for me to get everything done and in and heading off on vacation, but I want to still drop one even when I'm out of town. So I hope you guys are having the best week ever. I hope right now for myself, I'm manifesting that I'm laying on a beach right now, relaxing and feeling very peace and not spiraling. A week of not spiraling, I better be coming my way. That better be next week for me, okay? I need a break. I need a break from the spirals, okay? A girl spirals all the other days, so she's taking a break from the spirals this week. But yeah, I love you. Thanks for the support. Let me know your thoughts. Are you a tall girly? Have you experienced any of that? What about just a confident person? And how do people read that, or are they receptive of that or not? It's just interesting, I thought. But yeah, own your confidence. I love it. I love it about you. Be you. Okay, I'm rambling now because my brain is non-existent anymore. But yeah, I'll talk to you next week. Have a great rest of your week.